Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa.
Family, welcome again for another incredible recipe. Let's turn this simple potato into something so decadent. Let's make our stack potatoes that is just packed with so much flavor. And if this is your first time, you're welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, as you can tell, I had loads of potato left and I had to be creative with it. So of course, I've got my potatoes and I'm peeling this. You can use any potato of your choosing. And in this one, I'm using the Maris Piper potato. That's my favorite potato actually because it's nice and fluffy and all just so gorgeous. So after peeling, of course, one would have to wash the potato as you can tell. Now, after that, I'm going to be using my mandolin because I need to thinly slice these beauty. Family, do not worry. I'll leave a link in the description box below as to where you can purchase your own mandolin. So once you've thinly sliced your potatoes to that desired shape, now we need to add some flavor. So to a bowl, I've added my whole milk, which is a full fat milk. And now I'm grating oodles and oodles of black peppercorns. Next thing is I'm adding rosemary and salt because rosemary and potatoes, they're first cousins. And I've got some smoked chilies that I'm adding over here. You can use your normal chili flakes, not a problem. And I did grate a little bit of nutmeg into this mixture. Now the nutmeg is going to give this mixture that sweet flavor it requires. And of course, I'm just crushing some garlic. Now do not worry, I'll leave all the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, and I'll leave a link in the description box that takes you straight to that recipe. Now I'm mixing everything together until it's well combined. And it is at this point that I do add my thinly sliced potatoes. I guess I could have prevented that spillage, but anyway, I was just doing my catcher as one does. So yes, my potatoes actually looks good. And now I'm going to be marinating this for a minimum of an hour. Better still, if you can do this and marinate it in the fridge overnight, that is incredible. For this recipe, you need a deep baking tray, and in my case, I'm using my ceramic bread loaf pan. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is layer it, and you will notice that I've added some parchment paper, so that would help form that shape, and it would also be easier for me to take this out once it's cooked. So I'm going to layer the potatoes as you can tell, and then at each layer, I'm going to add a little bit of butter. So that's just going to make it all rich, lovely, and moist. So repeat this process until you have completely covered every space or every sort of like crevice in there. Now just make sure that each layer is tightly packed, and that's what you can see me do here. So now I've added a little bit more of the butter, and then I'm going to repeat the process. And you will notice that at each time when I do add the slices of potato, I'm adding a little bit of pressure to it. So now that I have filled my bread loaf tin or pan, may I say, I'm going to now scoop some of that marinade, that beautiful milk flavored marinade with rosemary and garlic all over it. Now I'm just sprinkling a little bit of my chili flakes over. You can replace that with freshly milled black peppercorns, not a problem. I'm making a makeshift cover for my potato stack, which will trap in the steam and allow this to cook perfectly. So I've got my foil, but then I checked my fridge and I had some old thyme in there. So that's what I've just added with some bay leaf. And just going to use that to cover the surface, absolutely. Now what that's going to do is, whilst this is baking, the aroma and the oils from the thyme is just going to also infuse into my potatoes. At this point, preheat your oven to 170 degrees because we're going to be baking this, and it means that the moisture from the milk is just going to cook the potatoes first of all. And that would take about an hour and 20 minutes. Once I take it out of the oven, I'm now going to be adding some pressure to it. So in my case, I do have some stones here which I picked up from the beach. Yes, but you can use your tomato tin or your beans tin. Yes, that of course, that's heavy, and add that pressure to it. And leave this to completely cool down. That might take about an hour. Once that has happened, place everything in the fridge for a minimum of 6 hours, or better still, overnight. Now, once you've done that, bring it out and then remove your stones or your heavyweight. And this is what you will find. So you'll find a very compact, layered potato in there. Now, also bearing in mind that I've used the thyme and rosemary in here, you can omit that and just keep it very simple by just using the garlic, the black peppercorns, the nutmeg definitely instead. But of course, it's Ndudu by Fafa, and we like to twist things and add more flavors to stuff because I enjoy this on its own. Now, once you're ready, you can slice it, and yes, we can fry it. You can fry it in your butter. But of course, I've got my shea butter stock cube, which is coming soon. Yes, on by Ndudu, and I'll be using that and fry it. As I mentioned, you can use your normal butter and that works equally well. So here we're just going to be frying everything to warm everything through and make it crisper on the outside, and it'll be nice and moist in the middle. So yes, this then leaves me with a potato gratin. I said dauphinoise potato. That's also another favorite of mine. Now, if you'd like to see that recipe, please leave your comments below. And if you do like what you see, in fact, yes, smash the like button. Leave a comment or two for me. Yes, and what other herbs or spices would you use? Are you going to omit it altogether? I'd like to know, definitely. And here we have our pièce de résistance. Now, even for breakfast, this is the most incredible thing. You can just slice one, pan fry it, or you can just have your poached egg or scrambled egg on top of it, or you can get your smoked salmon, or in our case, this in Ghana, the mackerel, yes, the beautiful smoked mackerel, yes, just add a few to it and you're good to go. It's decadent, and your guests will definitely thank you for it. And of course, when you're also frying this, do take care, just pamper it a little bit because it's compact, and now of course you're frying it, so that heat might have that tendency of separating your potato. Please ensure you do maintain that medium to low heat. That allows for an even cook, and it would allow you to have that crispy outer layer, and it will be nice and moist in the middle. Absolutely. Now, if you do like what you see, please don't forget to smash the like button, share with your family and friends, yes, and invite them over. So I'm going to be frying this on each side for about 4 minutes. Yes, it's just to allow it to be nice and crispy and just beautiful. Now, once that is done, it's ready, of course, for you to serve. Now, what I did was I did slice the rest of my potato pavè, and I sectioned it into little bits. So I placed it in my freezer bags and I froze them. So as and when I needed it, I took it out, allowed it to defrost just a little bit, and then I just proceeded in frying it. You can also bake it, not a problem, and you will end up with that crunchy outer layer and be nice and moist in the middle. I hope you're definitely inspired to try this recipe. Equally, you can use yam for this recipe or green plantain, as I saw Chef Sebastian do the last time, and I was like, oh yes, that's a good idea. So yes. Anyway, would you try it? Leave your comments below. Naturally, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, so do check it out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa, so pass by and say hi. Noel, thank you very much for my theme song. And until my next video, take care of you. Be nice, be beautiful, be gorgeous. And guess what? I love you for you. So, toodles.